Hey, what's poppin', y'all? How y'all doing today? We're gonna start this off today. We got a whole new series. We're on a whole new economical calendar. There's different types of calendars. But right now, just to get back, we go to the calendar. But I want you to look at that real closely. There you go. Take a screenshot of that right there. So this represents everybody right there. Everybody that represents everybody, regardless of how you do. So we start off, we say peace, shalom, assalamu alaikum. We say rahubat. We say shalom. How you doing? What up? What up? So we basically this who am I? I am SP to the ARK, NUSKQU. Yes. I'm Lord Abdullah. Right, Big Lord Abdullah actually. Big Lord Abdullah. You got Lord Abdullah, Big Lord Abdullah. I9 Nation, all that's from my conception of the perfection that we all strive to be. So we say salam alaikum from every degree because people don't know other people's struggles. We see that the Quran from the family of what we call Quraysh tribe, which is not really cited. And a lot of times the things is not cited, not said, it's said, but then not cited, and then it's forgotten, and then it's brought back up again. Just to give you clarity that you're not in an illusion, that everything that we say that we do take, rearrange, and make plain for those every generation is science. Not we don't really call it science. We call it Miller, our way of life. You see, so Miller is our way of life, and At is the continuation of what we do, and Ta, Ba, Da, Tha, and every sound is a different vibrational, as you would call frequency. So as we continue this, my part right now is to eliminate the dumb stuff. As you see, we have the origin. We are still here in our original format, which is unsubtle law for me. Other people, it was dealing with Egypt, you know. But to make a long story short, it wasn't the rabbit or the turtle, the tortoise. It wasn't the rich or the poor. It was the application of each individual to be a part of the collective. It was to manifest the fruit of the tree from the bush, and the bush was lit at bush wick. The wick was the lighting of the bush. The myrtle was the plant, the herb, the myrtle. The train was the transmission of what we would call at that particular time close encounter of the third kind. And the third kind was the interpretation that was given you for the next when you go through what they would call the vortex. But the vortex had to be open to give those that had the information the energy, because we was on a dead low. We was on a low, so low that you only had permission. This is the scrutiny and the downtrodden that was going on. It was so low you couldn't go high. You go so high you couldn't get low, right? And Michael Jackson, I don't want to bring up his name, but I just want to say an honorable young man, in his prime, doing what he was doing, and he made a lot of people rich, and rich was a continuation of what we call the Fourth Reich. You see, same thing with Hitler, same thing with Rothschild, and it's not something that is evil. People have the wrong thing, like you say boo, and then people they're running because you say boo. It's about love. This what it's all about. It's about love. It's about from the sea, the semen, the planting of the seed in the dolphin, the planting of the moon, the excavating and the mining of the gold in the Congos, Zimbabwe. It's about Ghana, Ethiopia. It's about the Nile in the Mississippi. Is the same. It's about the technology that's going on in your brain. It's about your mixed chemicals, from articulating and consuming. It's your consumption of who you are now because of your location, because of who you deal with, who you talk to, who you communicate with. How far you have rose up within yourself. Did you reinvent yourself? That was one way of putting it. But the real thing is, if you breathe new oxygen, why are you getting old? And then we're gonna leave that to y'all and your speculations and your determinations and your testing, and then you're gonna come up with some other dumb shit. But everything is written in the Bible. I am the Bible boy, right? And that boy doesn't represent the age group. It represents what we are, what we do as we coming through. We bore through. We bold for what they call Christ, right? And Christ, if you look at Christ, right, and you see CH, that's chi. Yeah. And even the C in Christ means something. You see, and it will take you where you need to go if you use it with the articulation from the formula we gave with the A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, and even with the sound of do, re, mi. You see, the articulation of sound, what they call sound and long, and they put sound long, basically the S for the sound and O and G for long, and made a song. You see, just like if you do the W in reverse, right, and the W is the cipher. There's two U's, is the circle. You got one U, and then you got another U, and you take this U and you put it on top of this U, so now you got a cipher, a circle, right? So the W is a circle. The double of the U is the circle. They make it like it's two V's, right? Okay. All that's relative to everything else. And we'll go and explain it as we go. But it's about love, it's about happy. Valentine's Day is coming up, right? And it's still gonna come up, even if you missed it. February 14th, they say it's for this, it's for that. No. It's always going to be this or that. We take it for what it do for us. What does it do? It reminds us of the brutality that Belgium had on the Congo. It reminds us of the tragedy that Belgium has on the Congo. Still today, we need to rectify that situation. Those in the Congo that's here, we need to get with me. Let's come and let's make it happen. I am Dr. Americas, the whole continent, renewing the who we are here as we was all over. We duplicated everything. You see, as we just like New York, and we changed it to New York, to the new you. It's been the new you for a while. So niggas still talking that New York, and in New York's, yeah, they late. You see, that's why we changed the jargon. That's what, the slang, the words. It's called knowing continuum in the now and improving as we go along. You see, we build and we destroy, and as we destroy and build, we add space for our new creation. You see, so if it's articulation, if it's duplication, whatever we want to do, we make it happen for what we do. So yes, who am I? I'm SP to the ARK, and we're doing a special way. But today we're gonna come up and do a little something, articulation. We're gonna talk about today. I think I want to talk about dance. We're not gonna talk about architect. We could have came up with architect today, but I'm gonna read you the introduction to Facts. The Praise of Facts by John Lennon. I grow daily to honor facts more and more, wrote Thomas Clyde to Ralph Waldo Emerson in 1836. And theory less and less. A fact, it seems to me, is a great thing, a sentence printed. If not by God, then at least by the devil. 24 years later, T.H. Huxley wrote to Charles Kingsley in a similar frame of tactical tactical mindedness. Okay, so that's what we're talking about now. So we're going through our love series, right? And I'm reading you the introduction page of facts, okay? And I did put out, and it will be out, the book Facts, about facts, and what are facts? How are facts formulated? How are they accredited? And who use facts? What are facts for? And we're going to go through that, and we're going to see what he says about these facts. Sit down before facts as a little child. Be prepared to give up every preconceived notion. Follow humbly whatever and to whatever a bliss nature leads, or you shall learn nothing. Indeed, every theory is a seedless grape, whereas even the humblest fact is still a thumbtack, pinning something down. Theory melts away like the morning mist. Fact, like a dog, is always there when you want a wag. Many years ago, I dragged my then small children to the opening of a brand new museum in Manhattan, the Guinness World Records exhibit hall in the concourse of held exhibit hall in the concourse of the Empire State Building. Okay, now we can stop right there. I just want to read some things to you about facts. Okay, when we're talking about the concourse, right? Now, what happened? People say right? Continue the continued course, right? Of the state of mind that was introduced to this land, right, by those who had the determination and the drive to formulate that which was already here and revise it and make it more global. Okay, it's a known fact that Manhattan, it's a known fact that Manhattan is the tribe of the Seneca. And it was also the point of what we would call, it was the point, the island, the point where people met on Manhattan Island. And that's where the thing was, the trinkets and the selling of trinkets for the island of Manhattan, when that's not possible. People don't have the, first of all, when you don't own yourself, when you get into the real things about how people gain access to stuff, and that's mainly by war. War is the word, is three things, war, right? WAR. And war is the reverse of the word raw. Raw is the condition of the state of mind that Lulu Aminu have, what we call humans, right? And humans are only capable of reaching a certain level of action, which is the 2 sevens. It was the first 4 and then the 3. It was the 3 and then the 4 to get out, but it was the 4 and then the 3 to realize. See, when you end deep with 3, and then when you go to 4, right? Then after 4, right, you go to the next 3, and that will be 7. And then after the 7, you go to the 9. You see, and then you start to repeat yourself on another level, or you can go to the 7th degree, You see, when you go to the 9th to the 9th degree, the 8th to the 8th degree, see, and these different degrees and sub-degrees of the degrees of the sub-degrees make it what they call infinity. Infinity. It's gonna keep going. Finna do it. Finna do it. Finity. Finna do it. Continuation. So in that continuation, there's order and there's a system of what we call what's right and what's wrong. You see? And we were talking about the W, and the W is 2U's, which is the cipher, and then the R for wrong, and then O and G is on. You see, on, and then the G is the 7, which is the scene, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, which is the 7. The 7, SEVEN, the V is the U, the double of the U. The U is the V. See, so, and all this got to be like this. So now they're talking about artificial intelligence, and they done randomly going to give you some numbers like the A1 intelligence, right, that was created by man, right? As they say, that's not true. How you going to say, well, man was created by itself, so how can man create anything? No, it's just an extension of what we're doing in the heavens. And that was only for the safeguard and the transformation, transition, the sitting of the train sitting in the robots for the elimination of the other robots, because humans are robots, and that's the fact that it is. So what I'm stating, right, that you have to find your way out of the entrapment that you have become because you did not practice the 5. The 5 is the 5 prayers. It's definite. Before that was the 3 prayers, then the 5 prayers, then the 7 prayers, then the 9 prayers. And what this is only the they call it remember, but it's remembership. Remember in the ship, right, is your purpose. You're here to recycle. You're here to give out the gold. You're giving out the gold, right? You're giving out the gold and mental telepathy with the G, right, which is the scene in the old way we do it with the telepathy, right? By taking that, bringing in, and then saying certain things, right? And then projecting that thought to a certain spot on the planet, which is called the Kaaba, right? Which is actually the navel, right? Or which is navel, NAVEL, right? So navel is land. Land. That's it. Okay? And land is the same thing as far as obstacle, place, density, matter, right? But the land, right, is also the lane, right? When we go into different who we be, because you're not the body. The body belongs to Gia, and Gia wants you to know that. So as I teach, I speak to Gia. As I speak about her, I suggest we stop and say, "Hey, Gia, how you doing? Hey, Gia, I feel the people that respect you and protect you, like the wind and the rain and the elements. Elo, lo, ments. Okay, ments, men from who, Allah will hurt. Ida ja, men, who Allah, men wasi from the evils, men. You already know. Okay, so now we did that. So now we get back to this right here. And I love all of it is just as much as the kids did the replicas of the tallest, furthest, longest, and smartest, the closest circuit TV screens for every port feet known to mammals representation. Okay, let's go up. Many years I dragged them, small children, to the opening of the brand new museum in Manhattan, the Genesis World Records exhibits. Okay. talking about the conquest. We're talking about the empire state building. So now we're talking about the empire, right? The empire was the ones that was into empire, like in the game, is the one that's able to strike. Is this they control the game. The word game is from the word jamming. The G, the capital G, and the J is the same. So when you say jamming, right, and game is the same thing. Now the game and the jamming was collective, right? The collective was what they called the day, what they call Friday. Now Friday was the day when the slave says Friday, and they looking at the word fry, right? Is free, because that's the day they get paid, right? Paid was PAY, which is YAD, yad, which is hand, right? So they get a helping hand. A helping hand every day is a day is a hand, right? In the Lord, right? We become instruments of the Most High, which is the breath of life that we represent. So in reality, we're supposed to be saying we represent the breath of life. See, so we are that GUARD, but we're not the GOD. The GOD was a Greek word that was given to the host of the planet, which they call angels. At the time, they was called Elohim, you see, or Anunnaki. The Anunnaki, Elohim, host of the planet, right? But in as far as those people had no knowledge of anything, but those people did have recognition of some knowledge, they called it they called it angels, Elohim, Anunnaki, right? But they call it pharaohs, and it was Afati. Afati is the word pharaoh, but pharaoh from phonetically, right, on what the fuck, right, sound healing, right, for me to you, for your destiny, your vision. But your vision is not my vision, so don't get it twisted. It's not, everybody has a vision, and that's what we call the collective. That's what we call the all, and the all has no what we call color. So what we did, because certain leaders, right, that was taking us into unknowingly, and I say unknowingly as neutral because I come with a new trail. For those who for the first agreement with the animal kill and be killed, they had to have a transitional period, and this transitional period was, okay, let's go to war. Let's go ahead and play the game to the best we can, and we did. Now, even though we said thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not kill, you have to remember this. You have to remember that technology, it's like the book Tanakh, had to be taught. It had to be spread. And it went from ships, right? From the water. Okay. Then when it got to industrial and it started still warring, now they got flying ships, right? Through the air that we control. Don't forget the part that we control in all this. They just players in the game of what they call life because they ain't telling you the truth. When they say life, right, they disguise the word life from the word Eli. That's one part. But they give you another option. They don't just give you right or wrong. They give you one A, B, C, or D, and sometimes it could be all of it, right? But this lesser of each, which we call a translation. They translating it. Late to me means tardy. What does tardy mean? Google tardy for me, please. We're gonna have an interaction, even though you're late where you're at, 77 is a long time. And now you can see what's going on. You see the love is still here, love still coming through. And it says, God bless America. Okay? When they say God bless America like this, we have to really understand that when we talk about America, we're not talking about United States. We'll go through all of that. But let's get back to this part right here. So, you're talking about he went to the world's Genesis of world records. Okay. Now, The word Genesis, we hear what it sounds like, the beginning of the world record. Now we're talking about the analyzing all the things on earth. Okay. Like I said before, initially our observation was without warrant or permission or putting you on notice about what? About what we did, how we created you. We gave you, we put it out there, but it really wasn't for the public. That's why when we didn't resonate with those, it was actually for me. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And when I was saying little Bobbas, right? Little Bobbas, when you have something that come to do something on purpose for their purpose, right? And they do what they do, right? And it's a step off time. And that step off time is not because it's not appreciated. They don't know how to appreciate it. That's not their job to appreciate. Their job is to live this out as fast as they can. And remember, they're trying to get to heaven. So now to get to heaven, we're going to talk about getting to heaven. But I want to go back here. But we will talk about heaven. And what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to remember it. We're going to talk about heaven. That is definitely. But I'll give you a little something on it right now. Heaven is, when you look at heaven, spell it out, and then take the clues that I gave you about the alphabets, right? And if you don't know the clues right now, the best way to do it is go to the 5% lessons and look at and master their teachings. Read it and 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 read it. And read it. Make that your priority in communication with those that you say is melanated. If they say they're black, it's a different person. It's a different what they want to be. They're not chlorophyll green. If you look at green and you look at black, it's a lot of similarities. But there is that chlorophyll, that green, that healing in green. It's the healing in black. It's a different type of healing. That's the healing to say, hey, we ain't going right there. Let them have that. Green, and then we're going to go through the filtering process of getting the right, they call it HUE. And that they say color, right? We'll break down everything the way you're supposed to have to get it done right. But let's get back to it. All right. So now, he went there and he said he's seen nothing but raw facts, liquidity, pure and self-contained, its own essence of subtlety, whatness, and isness in perfect accord, standing in no relation to anything else, not even wisdom or goodness or simple truth. And I loved all of it just as much as the kids did. The replicas of the tallest, the fattest, the longest, the smartest, the closed circuit TV screens of every sports feat known to mammals, representation of the coolest canine, sharp pearl, the Chinese fighting dog, sharp pearl, the Chinese fighting dog, sharp 10, the American fighting black activist. See, it's assimilation in everything. In time and patience, which is Sabor, we see all the tricks of what referred to as the zombie walkers, referred to as the grave people. So when you are learned by a school like college and don't know the origin of college, how it was established, blish, belish, established. Anything with stab in it, you're gonna have to look at that word, you know. And then it's established. Okay. So where did the college establish? Is an annex. And is a doubling. It's a prefix. You put an. Annex is a prefix. Like annex is an addition. But annex to this, after we get this, we're going to do this next. After you go through this system of their entry, their entrance, their entrance to their teachings, their writings, their rituals, teachings, author, authority, rulers, laws, king, Maliki, which should be in place. See, you have the Malakut, which is the angelic realm. Then you have the Malik, which is the me out of her, the mother, the matter, right? The one that usher. Sha is she is energy. CHI. The C is the U, right? Waiting. You see, after it's been cut in half, right? And the other U is the rainbow. You see, and when the rainbow, the collective of all, comes to the U within you individually from the hub of the bubble, which is a circle, you see, and the circle is the position that they took and name and title TITLE, which is the word elite, as sir and the ability to kill. The word kill is the word like, LIKE. You see? So they smile in your face, but the smile is really a frown because we're really standing upside down. That's why gravity has its place. And that's why gravity, say in the grave, people in the grave looking down instead of reaching up and out from going inside themselves and then going up through the cord, which is called etheric cord, because we're Etherian, as we solidify and come to the proper analyzation for our true purpose and reason for being, you see, what we call in the presence of what they call the light, which gives a reflection of we here, but it's really a hologram. And that's another thing too. So we got all the best of what? Okay, now it says Chinese fighting dog at 10,000 for all four legs. So now they start to explain, right, how the price, the economic system, the barter system, how you can actually get things. But in the teachings of those who are the power, right, or the energy, right, that we are electromagnetic energy, they don't express those facts. Those facts for those who are the owners of the cattle, the owners of the humans. Humans are owned under the title in government, right, or what they call macro, under human resource. So wherever you're born at, right, that's who has authority. So that is the reason why people have what they call state. A state is a short word of saying the status. The status. So they say two words, status, which is us, and the state, and we're stating this. We're showing you this, and this is our shit now. And we're saying that's what you think. Because you don't, first of all, you don't own time. You don't even know what time is. You measure time, right? You don't know what measurement is. You don't know what thought is. You don't know what thought originated from. So all these things that I came to give you in the year, right? You denied it, but you actually didn't deny it. It's the people that said that they was my people, the ignorant leaders that will not address this because you don't have to. It's okay. It's a fact that you faking, you don't know. So I relieve you from the stress, the worry, the lies. That is the thing about just don't send no money. No, see. You excuse from the rhetoric, from the lies. You know, all y'all that got on stage and didn't understand you're supposed to get your money, take care of your family, establish yourself. Won't be no war. It's our land. We're gonna fix that anyway. We'll go ahead and eat. So let the brothers go first so the others don't miss. There's a lot of different sayings. We'll pull them back up. This is what the whole thing with the 929, the non factor, coming from Mound City in the Midwest, the Archway. We got Archway here. We got the 929, the non factor. I'll be a part of that. Then we're going to have to jump his paradise. This is prophecy coming straight before you, for you. For you, for the family. Our family is connected to the whole five and upstate, especially by all the prisons up there. We ain't forget y'all either. We're gonna have a house up there, a grand house. That's right, where everybody can come and see the conditions of our people up there, where we can be broadcasting right there, and let them know on the day-to-day what's going on. Put it in the airway of the communities. Let the love come through. Let the love be expressed. Let the 5-point star. You can have the love for every star you got. You see? And the love could be determined and it could be stated. That's what we're going to do. We're going to change the narratives. You see? We can have the 5-point star for the penalty and rewards. And we can go with the 5 P's. And then we can revise the 5 P's. Put the 5 P's back in the people's hand, the government. And put the proper people in the right seats, and now you got somewhere we're talking about the same family from what they call skull and bones. The same family is the Boule. It's the same family with the Elohim. It's the same thing coming out of the Americas, the whole continent, coming from Panama, coming from Cuba, coming from Costa Rica, coming from Puerto Rico, coming from St. Kitts, coming from Barbados, coming from Haiti, coming from Jamaica. You see, so all these, that's just a handful right there. And you can go to Brazil, you can go to Peru, you can go to El Salvador, you go to Mexico, we'll go to Canada, go to Alaska, go all the way up to Greenland. You see, we're talking about, and then all the states these are countries. We're not going to say a Missouri. That is a country. And we're going to have the same rights as any small country, European small country. You see, that's the difference. You see, so even we contain it under the federal, because under the federal government, we can still monitor everything and still have that. There will be a union of the countries, 48 countries. Yeah, it's about expansion. With technology, we don't have to be a state. You see, because state is fictitious. We come back to who we are, what we do, and then that's That's the first realm of thoughts. And then it goes down. And then we have the same thing. Right now, I'm learning. Matter of fact, it's on here too. There's certain things. Uh, it's a lot of good things I'm coming up with. Okay. Hey, there's so many beautiful things that's here. Right. Right now, I'm looking. Uh, get back to what I'm doing. All right. So now, okay, Chinese fighting dog called Chappelle, and the now extinct $100,000 bill, which Woodrow Wilson on it like a wanted poster. Okay, so they got $100,000 bill of Woodrow Wilson. I never had $100,000 bill of Woodrow Wilson. That is something. Okay, so that's the magic, right? Okay, that's in the Guinness's World Records. Okay. He said a brief account of the 30-minute war between Zanzibar and Great Britain. A park ranger's hat and shoes struck 5 times by lightning. A swarm of locusts almost the size of the state of Delaware had a button to push that activated an X-ray of the es- esophagus, a sword swallower. To be sure, even back then they had commercialized this commodity with a gift shop ready to take orders for Dixie cups, T-shirts, parlor games, and crossword puzzles. Not to mention mink link golf shoes with ruby tip gold spikes at $6,000 a pair. But the gift shop seemed a small price to pay for learning that the approximate number of different chess games was astronomically higher than the number of atoms in the observatory observable universe. That the annual defense budget of Adora was $5. That the lowest nightclub in the world was in minus 206 in Tiberias, Israel, on the shores of the Sea of Galilee, 676 feet or 206 meters below the sea level. That 33.1 per 1,000 Hungarians had committed suicide in 1971. Georgians per 100 in 1970. And the record for stone skipping on the water surface was 21, including plinkers and pedipats. And that longest living rodent was the Indian crest porcupine, with a life expectancy of 22 years. Well, yes, W.S. Gilbert did remind us in the Mikado that her taste, her taste exact for faultless facts amounts to disease, but not as many innocent people seem to perish of this disease as they have on the ramparts of the trenches of theory and faith. While most of us would agree with Salman Rushdie and Harun and the sea of shores that the world is full of things we haven't seen in person, but nevertheless believed in, like Africa, submarines, lagoons, pagodas, Mount Fuji, the North Pole, and well at last, at, at well as the past, did it happen, and the future will it come. We all ask to believe in ferocious existence of such specters as the invisible hand, the laughter curve, the sperm sucking alien invaders. A thing is not necessarily true because a man dies for it, said Oscar Wilde, who was not necessarily wrong because he was Oscar Wilde. Buy the truth and sell it not. Proverbs 38:23 reminded us back in 350 BC, far from making fun of odd and sticky facts. I cherish that. In a in a tawdry time of blue meanings and nameless dread, it is a comfort rather than a cause, than a caucus bell to know the world's records for pole sitting, plate spinning, pogo stick jumping, chicken plucking, and the fastest psychiatrist in the West with 50 patients a day. And to meet a 7-foot earthworm, a 90-pound pre-dried wool sponge, and a brown Swiss cow named Iveta, who gave her owner $13,000 of butterfat in 4,515 days. To be told that the longest series novel ever written was Men of Goodwill by Jules Romans, 27 volumes in French. The longest series poem, the Mahabharata, 3 million words in Sanskrit, and the longest word in literature, La Pa Te Na Cho Se La Ka Ga Li Kran Ni O Ip San O Drum Patrima Tasu Philippa Romela Itakata see me no. Oh my goodness. Almost had it. You won't find any of this information in the book you are about to browse because that would be cheating. What will you find? If I had my absolutely preference for a book of knowledge, I would like the one everybody in Neil Stephenson's 1995 science fiction novel, The Diamond Age. Around trying to steal called a young lady's illustrated primer. This prosthetic et shit Redon came with his own power pack of voice recognition interference, smart paper communicators, nano receptors to measure the reader's pulse, and a database of epic poems, fairy tales, quests, myths, and legends that amount to a catalog for the collective unconscious. Until you could read it on your own, it told you stories in a lovely contralto, even while you slept, about what you dreamt, designed to grow up alongside festive 4-year-old girls to encourage heroic behavior and subservient thinking. Okay, so now we're talking about the programming of the humans. We're talking about programming the humans and how it was done. And this was the introduction of facts. When I was trying to explain to people about facts, there's facts with the annex to these churches, right? The churches was the information and protesting of the original, what it is, man-made religion. They would call man-made religion, but the religion is the legion, the army that they built behind their conception of speaking. And what they did was they programmed you wrongly for the first 4 years. But prior to that, you were supposed to be programmed mental telepathy through thinking of your host, which they call your mother. They gave her the word mother, gave her full authority over you, and she does not relate, she does not put in the time that you need for you to be successful. So it starts with your mother right there, your host. Okay. So when we say host, right, and we say the most, and we say the whole damn thing, or the whole, that's just a short version of the whole damn thing, or the host that you be. Now your responsibility of nursing them, nourishing the know, the light, the time, showing them, holding their hands, giving them hugs and stuff. That shit wasn't done. It wasn't done. And with that, we're gonna just leave that because it wasn't done. It wasn't said that it should be done, and you're acting like you did everything right. You pray for forgiveness, but you don't change your ways. That's because you read something that said that you cannot put new shit in an old wineskin. So, but you heard something, renew yourself. It says, only a fool despises wisdom and instruction. Submit yourself as a child. You can submit yourself as a child and be born again. And that's the whole thing. Other than that, you try to trick me. How could you teach me about God? And then I take it further than your thing about God. And then you don't want to hear it because, and then you have something in your Bible that says to learn, to find yourself approved. Study to find yourself approved. They tell you about Quran, where it came from, the family of Abraham. They tell you about Abraham, what happened. Find out what's true. You have the strong concordance. You have the dictionaries that you can go backtrack. Anyway, I'm at it.